There are creatures that should not exist. Beings so immense, so silent, and so ancient that they seem to belong to another world, a world where fear was the law and life fought simply for the right to continue. Today, we are going to talk about something like that. Something that once crawled across the earth with enough force to crush bones, interrupt the silence of the jungle, and make the forest itself hold its breath. My name is Arthanox, and you are watching Cloaked Mysteries. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to hear is not a legend. It is a real echo of what nature was once capable of creating. When we think of predators that inspire fear, we think of sharks or crocodiles. But the fear of snakes is different. It is silent, instinctive, rooted in our most primitive memory. The way they move gliding, without sound, without warning triggers something inside us. Something that whispers this is not here to negotiate. Even small snakes provoke intense reactions. Not because of their strength, but because of their intention. They watch, calculate, and wait for the exact moment to strike. The modern world already fears them. Now imagine something far beyond that. Something so large that its movement reshaped the environment around it. This creature existed. Its name was Titanoboa, a real serpent, proven by fossils and thoroughly studied by science. Its size is not an exaggerated estimate, it is a measured fact. Its remains were found deeply preserved. The past left its signature. Titanoboa reached about 50 feet in length, longer than a city bus. Its weight surpassed that of a small car. A body capable of coiling around tree trunks, crushing bones, dragging prey beneath the water with almost no effort. It didn't need to chase. It only needed to close the circle. While other snakes swallow prey whole, Titanoboa squeezed until no resistance remained. Its method was slow, inevitable, final. The rainforest knew this silence, and it learned to respect it. Titanoboa was the predator that did not need to be seen, only felt. But the most remarkable thing about Titanoboa isn't just its form. It's the moment in time when it appeared, because its story begins after the dinosaurs. Not as a survivor, but as the inheritor of a post-extinction world. A symbol of a planet being born again. Around 66 million years ago, a cataclysm struck Earth. Dinosaurs vanished, forests burned, oceans shifted in color. The planet entered a long, toxic, radioactive winter. Life nearly went silent. But life does not disappear, it transforms. When the sun finally began warming the Earth again, the world was different. Tropical forests re-emerged like green scars. Rivers carved new paths. Small, resilient species rose from the chaos. A new evolutionary cycle began. The world was hot. Very hot. Hot enough to turn the Earth into a living greenhouse wrapped in humidity and vapor. For most animals, this was a challenge. For reptiles, it was paradise. It was in this environment that Titanoboa arose. It did not come from the age that ended, it was born from the world that came after. Extreme heat allowed serpents to grow larger and larger. The more heat a reptile's body can store, the more energy it can use. Nature simply shaped the animal to match the climate. Titanoboa was not just a large creature. It was the direct result of the planet itself. A being molded by the environment, just as the environment was shaped by it. It was heat given muscle. It was the forest breathing through a serpent. But just as heat brought Titanoboa into existence, climate change would also erase it. The balance that creates is the same balance that destroys. Nature does not grow attached to its creations. It simply continues. Titanoboa had a remarkable anatomy. Its body was thick, dense, built to store heat beneath deep layers of muscle. Its head was relatively small, making its attacks even more unexpected. It didn't need to bite to kill. It simply enclosed. Its muscles functioned like steel cables, moving in continuous waves. When it squeezed a prey, it was not an ordinary grip. It was a perfectly distributed, uniform, increasing pressure. Each contraction brought the end closer. Each second was inevitable. Titanoboa lived in swampy, dense regions. Its body blended with the water, the mud, and the shadows of the trees. It was not seen until it was too late. Silence was its weapon. The environment was its camouflage. Studies indicate that Titanoboa fed primarily on giant fish, but it also hunted ancient crocodiles. Its strike was quick for its size, but speed was unnecessary. Proximity was everything. Its breathing was slow. Its metabolism was efficient. It could wait for hours, days, even weeks. Time was not a limitation. Time was its strategy. Every movement of Titanoboa reminded us of something essential. Nature does not need haste to win. It only needs patience. And patience is something Titanoboa had until the world changed again. Titanoboa did not go extinct because of predators. There was no battle, no final struggle. It vanished because the world changed. A body that large exists only while the environment allows it. Balance is always delicate. The earth began to cool. Average temperatures fell. Tropical forests lost intensity. Rivers became shallower. For a creature dependent on heat, this was a death sentence. Many species of freshwater fish disappeared, Titanoboa's primary food source. And hunger is more deadly than any hunter. Without prey, the giant fell. And the earth moved on without it. Titanoboa could not adapt. It was too specialized, too perfectly designed for the world that once existed. When the environment changed, its perfection became its weakness. Survival is not about strength. It is about adaptation. Nature does not hesitate to erase a species. There is no nostalgia, regret, or memory. Only movement. Cycles close so others can open. Titanoboa was one of those cycles. When its final echo faded in the ancient forest, the world did not notice, but the earth kept its marks. And one day we found them. It was like waking a sleeping giant. Now imagine the modern world with Titanoboa still alive. Entire forests would be restricted zones. The Amazon rivers would require constant surveillance. Human movement would be limited. The jungle would have an unquestioned ruler. Large mammals likely would never have spread as they did. The food chain would be compressed. Species would vanish before ever evolving. The forest would have a different kind of silence. A silence of presence, not emptiness. Humans, upon emerging, would not encounter just jaguars, caimans, or common snakes. They would face a power that couldn't be fought with sticks or stones. Human development would have been slower. Territory would be different. History itself would be rewritten. Indigenous cultures would have developed different mythologies. Religions would carry different symbols. The serpent would not be a metaphor, it would be reality. A living deity. A constant threat. Exploration, agriculture, river travel, all of it would change. Our relationship with nature would be built on humility, not domination. Maybe we would have learned respect sooner. Maybe we would have learned fear permanently. Maybe arrogance would never have formed. But Titanoboa is gone. What remains are fossils, mineral memories, and questions. And the most important of them is, can something that large truly disappear forever? Or does it simply wait? Dark forests still hold mysteries. Deep rivers hide what we cannot see. There are stories, legends, and sightings of giant snakes even today. Some call them myths. But myths are often just memories waiting for an explanation. Indigenous peoples of the Amazon speak of snakes that sink entire canoes. Explorers report enormous shadows beneath the water. Military logs mention disturbing movements in isolated rivers. Nothing is conclusive, but nothing is dismissed. Science says there is no proof, but the jungle does not reveal everything it holds. Most of the Amazon has never been fully mapped. Subterranean rivers and isolated lakes remain untouched. Where the eye cannot see, myth continues to breathe. What if a smaller lineage survived? What if the size diminished, but not the essence? What if the silence of the forest still carries echoes we do not understand? Nature rarely erases what once worked. It simply transforms. Maybe Titanoboa vanished. Or maybe it became something we don't yet recognize. Something that still moves where we cannot see. Something we choose to pretend isn't there. Because sometimes, ignorance is more comfortable than truth. But the forest knows. It always knows. And it rarely forgets. Titanoboa is more than an extinct snake. It is a reminder of what the planet is capable of. It shows us that nature does not think small, does not hesitate, and does not ask permission. The world once belonged to creatures we can hardly imagine. And one day it may again. The past is not dead. It is preserved waiting. And sometimes what we believe has disappeared is only watching in silence from the depths of a forest we never truly tried to understand. If this story awakened something in you, comment below. The jungle still holds secrets. And subscribe to Cloaked Mysteries, where the unseen always has a voice. Until next time.